Now parents are politicizing their children. I had two of my son's friends get into a big argument because one is a Trump and the other is a Biden, and these are 10-year-old kids. They don't understand what they're doing with that. But hey, as to food, my wife is from Thailand, and there's this soup. It's called boat noodle soup, and I'm like, what is in this broth? It's so great. It's delicious, and it turns out to be pork blood. But they put pork blood in the broth. But also, I was walking with my uncle, her uncle, and we were in Thailand going down to the street market, and I told him I only eat chicken, So he points out this ear of chicken meat. We take it, we go back to the house, and I start eating it. I'm like, what are these little bones in this? I've never had chicken like this. It's delicious. And my wife looks over and says, oh, you're eating the chicken butt. And they were delicious.
Right.
Yeah. So,
but can be meaty. Thanks, Patrick. I appreciate your call this morning on WURD. I want to hear from you. 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. So what are they saying this morning on Facebook?
So we did have a couple more comments of folks weighing in here, so let me go ahead and pull those up. Yolanda Washington says, big lie technique. If you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. The lie can be marinated only for such time as the state can shield the people from the political, economic, and or military consequences of the lie. She goes on to say a few more things, but that's pretty much the gist of it. Erica, how do we get homie out? Like, real talk, what do we need to do? And Stuart K. Nelson says, Trumpty Dumpty sat on that wall. Trumpty Dumpty had a great fall. All of his mad cronies and the rest of his criminal mad friends could not put his evil agenda programs back together again. So that's another comment that we have as well. Yolanda Washington also says, I think Melania meant to say her husband cheated, not the election. And then Diane Fassett says, Solomon, you're describing a normal human being. That's not what Trump is. He's a mentally challenged bully who uses money and bribery to keep his minions in line when the backing of the powerful office is gone. Bullies crawl away. And that's coming very soon. So those are just a few more comments that we have on our Facebook page.
Yeah, it is absolutely crazy. So we've heard a whole lot of food stories today, Kawesa, about some strange ingredients. This is the first time I have ever heard anybody say anything about, did somebody say people put raisins in macaroni and cheese?
Yeah, somebody did say that a little bit earlier, but I mean, that's like the raisins in potato salad and, other weird things. Like they have in the 50s or 60s, Jell-O, they would put like hot dogs and things like that in the Jell-O. I'm like, what is that? Like, who's eating that? Yeah, that's
I'm going to have to come to y'all house and take your raisins. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to confiscate those because if you're using them in that manner, you're hurting people. So I'll tell you, Kawesa, how you put raisin macaroni and cheese?
Maybe it's like a salty sweet thing. The texture alone would mess me up. It's not even just going to be the taste. Like I can't eat. I like raisins separately, but like not in things. And so, I'm sitting here thinking I'm going to, bite into like a nice noodle and it's a squishy raisin.
Ew, that's been cooked.
That's been cooked, and it's with cheese and stuff. That's gross. Cheese and raisins.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Y'all gonna have to prove to me that this stuff tastes even edible. Y'all gonna have to prove it. So either that, or you're gonna have to, allow me to confiscate your raisins. So we're gonna talk about that. But I think, what else have we heard? So. Some folks are co-signing the nutmeg. Some folks have co-signed the nutmeg. Kawesa, how you feel about that?
Yeah, I might, if someone can come to me, right, and there are several people who have co-signed and said that your macaroni and cheese with the nutmeg in it is delicious, then I might be okay with trying a bite. Maybe two. It was too much. It was too, traumatized. And that's the other thing too. Nutmeg can really ruin like any dish. like when you really, really think about it, have you ever had, sweet potatoes or candy, and somebody put too much nutmeg in it? It ruins everything.
Yeah, nutmeg is one of those things where you really just got to put, a dash. You can't put a lot of nutmeg in anything that I've ever had it in. So you're right. It cannot be the primary spice. You know what I mean? So, now I put the only thing I eat raisins in is really like oatmeal. Mm-hmm. What else do you put raisins in other stuff? You don't put raisins in anything.
No, I don't. But I know that people will put raisins so for example, my mom, when she makes coleslaw, she puts craisins in it, and and chops up like apples really fine and puts them in, and it's actually really good. I'm surprised that I enjoy it, but that's really good. And I know people who put raisins in their coleslaw too, but I still don't like raisins. Maybe the craisins have a little bit better tart to them or bite to it, but I can't do it. So yeah, raisins in like a Raisin Bran or like an oatmeal. I know raisins go in some desserts and things. I refuse to eat them in desserts also, but that's me. That's my preference.
Okay. Well, not even in bread pudding?
Nope. No.
Okay. All right. No. Well, see, we got to keep talking about this stuff because I think we are dealing with some things that are deep down in our psyche, Kawesa, and this is almost like it's like therapy.
It is.
To talk about these food stories.
It's cathartic. I appreciate it. When you're a kid and you get traumatized by certain things, it's helpful to have these conversations.
Absolutely, and we are going to continue, but that is it for today's show. I want to thank all of our guests, including Temple Professor Lynn Washington, civil rights attorney Paul Hetznecker, and your favorite cousin of mine, dear Melanie. And now, for producer Kawesa Mathis and everyone here at WURD Radio, I am your host, Solomon Jones, saying stay tuned for Reality Check. Tune in tomorrow at 7 for more Wake Up with Word. Peace.